It's been a year since we all got our hands on the HTC 10, and today we have the HTC's newest smartphone, the HTC U11. So how do they both compare with each other? And if you already have HTC 10, is HTC U11 a worthy upgrade? Let's find out. Talking about the design, both HTC 10 and the HTC U11 have some unique characteristics. Well, the 10 is a metal body with some dual textured finish. Is actually pretty good design when you compare with the M7, M8, M9. HTC 10 actually kept its original metal design intact. So if you like those, then you will feel home with your HTC 10. The U11, although goes away from the metal design, it now has an innovative liquid glass surface in the back, which is made up of highly refractive material. So it's going to give you various color formations when you move around the light. But the liquid glass surface is new and it has caught a lot of attention, especially the solar red. And as you can see, since it's glass, a lot of fingerprints. So yeah, it's a fingerprint magnet, but the color and the design you get with U11 is much more different than what you would see with your HTC 10. That's something to keep in mind, moving away from the metal body and getting into the liquid glass surface design. But other than that, the colors are really good with U11. This is the solar red, and you can see that the HTC 10 red and the solar red, while they do have the red color in them, the solar red changes to kind of gold pink every time I move the phone. So that's something different, while the HTC 10 just shows you a white and a red coming up. Speaking about the hardware, HTC 10 has a 5.2 inch while the U11 has the 5.5 inch display. So you can see the U11 is much bigger than the HTC 10. Both have the Super LCD 5 screen with Quad HD display, but the thing that is different is HTC 10 is Gorilla Glass 3 while U11 is Gorilla Glass 5. With the ports, you can see both use the USB Type-C charger. There's no difference there. Both have Quick Charge 3 as well. But the key difference is there is a headphone jack in HTC 10 and there is no headphone jack in your U11. So if you like your headphones, especially the 3.5mm, then you would have to consider that as a big change when you move to the HTC U11. The HTC 10 comes with Snapdragon 820 with 4GB RAM and 32GB onboard storage, while the HTC U11 comes with Snapdragon 835 and 4GB RAM with 64GB onboard storage. You could also get the 6GB and 128GB onboard storage with the HTC U11. The HTC 10 doesn't come with any water resistance or IP rating, so that's another factor to look at if you want to upgrade to the HTC U11. This is a deal breaker for few because HTC U11 comes with water resistant with a rating of IP67. That means you can take your HTC U11 for a dive or splashes of water that may be accidental. So one thing to note here is that the water resistant works very well for 1 meter in fresh water for up to 30 minutes. So be aware of that when you do use your U11 underwater. Software wise, both runs the HTC Sense and they do have the fingerprint sensor. So you can see the fingerprint sensor was a little bit faster in my HTC U11 than the HTC 10. But rest of the software experience is exactly the same as how you would get in both. So here's the Sense home screen, here is the app drawer. It's exactly the same things that you get in the HTC Sense UX. And the only difference here though is that this is running the Android 7.1. HTC U11 is running Android 7.1 while the HTC 10 is still running the Android 7.0. So maybe I'm missing some updates, but I have checked updates every day and I don't seem to be getting the 7.1 update in my HTC 10, which is an unlocked version. But the HTC U11 has 7.1.1. So with the security patch June 2017, Of course, the HTC 10, that's a good sign. It has the June 2017 security patch as well. Rest of the Sense UX is exactly the same. You get the same experience of changing wallpapers, changing themes, editing the pages, and also the blink feed option, which you can enable in both HTC 10 and the U11. One of the additional things you get with the HTC U11 Sense is the HTC Sense Companion. So this is going to be looking at your calendar, your schedule, your location, and give you tips and tricks to what's nearby, what food you can have for dinner and lunch, or who you are meeting with for the next meeting, and weather report and whatnot. So it's very similar to Google now, but it focuses mainly on the activities you do in your phone. And yes, you could enable this or disable this based on whether you want to use it or not. So nothing intrusive, but it will give you some tips then and there. You don't get that in the HTC 10 though. So HTC 10 is free of the Sense Companion. HTC U11 also includes another unique feature where you can squeeze the edges of your phone called the Edge Sense. The Edge Sense allows you to do a small squeeze where it can do certain actions like turning on and off the flashlight, or you can do a long hold and squeeze to open certain apps, or again do certain activities. Here I have set up to open my settings, so if I long squeeze and hold, it's going to open the settings. So that's the Edge Sense feature, which is available in the HTC U11 and not in the HTC 10. It also works when your screen is off, so that's again another neat little trick that you can use the Edge Sense for. Another software capability that you get with the HTC U11 is the ability to add Amazon Alexa along with the Google Assistant as your default voice assistant. So basically now you can set up Amazon Alexa to launch with the Edge Sense feature, or even with the wake up keyword like Alexa. So there you go. So that was the Alexa launching with the wake up keyword. Of course, the Google won't work if you have set up the wake up word for Alexa. But you have the Edge Sense where now you can have short squeeze to launch the Google Assistant. There you go. And you can also say hold and squeeze to launch the Amazon Alexa. So you have several options to configure this feature. Now, that doesn't mean HTC 10 doesn't come with any assistant. The Google Assistant still works in HTC 10. So for example, OK Google. So the Google Assistant works in HTC 10. It also works in U11. The added advantage is that you get Amazon Alexa as well in the U11. Next up is audio. Both HTC 10 and U11 have boom sound speakers, but the key difference is the HTC 10 has the headphone jack, while you don't get the headphone jack in the U11. Everything is through the USB Type-C port, and luckily you do get a DAC adapter for the 3.5mm port that you can use with your U11. But the key thing here to note is this DAC performance is really dull. So when I use my Beats headphone, which is really good with the bass and treble and getting me a good music, I feel it dull coming out from this adapter, while I feel great when coming out from the headphone jack. So the HTC 10 has the DAC built in, so it does make the music coming out of the headphone jack really nice. The HTC U11, so you'd have to plug in your headphone into the adapter and basically plug it into the USB-C port. Now, yes, you can't charge and listen to the music. That's another thing. So you would have to actually choose to either listen to music or charge the phone. If you do get past the lack of 3.5mm in your HTC U11, you get to use the HTC's U-Sonic earbuds, which plugs directly into the USB Type-C, and that is going to give you a great audio experience as well. So the U-Sonic earbuds basically scans your frequencies and the surroundings to give a profile that suits your earbuds as well. And the U-Sonic also includes active noise cancellation. If you can get past the 3.5mm jack and use the USB Type-C, then you should enjoy the audio experience coming out of this. Now, the boom sound. Yes, both have front speakers that give you the HTC boom sound experience. Rather than me telling you how the sound is, I would let you listen to the sound first. Here is HTC 10. Let me play the song. It's in full volume. And here is the boom sound activated. The club is the You can change different modes. Right now I'm in theater mode, and that's probably the only thing I have, and I can change to music mode here.
Come over and start up a conversation with just me. Trust me, I'll give it a chance. Now take my hand, stop and the man on the jukebox, and then we start to
This is the music mode.
Singing like, girl, you know I want your love. Your love was handmade for
This is the
somebody
theater
like
mode.
me. Come on now, follow my lead. I may be crazy, don't mind me. Say, boy, let's not talk too much. Grab on my waist and put that body on.
So that was the sound coming from the HTC 10 boom sound speaker. So let's switch to HTC 11 and see how it stands up. So obviously the sound here is louder than the HTC 10.
The club isn't the best place to find the lovers, so the bar is where I go. Me and my friends sat at the table doing shots.
And this by default plays in music mode, so you can switch to theater mode.
Conversation with just me, and trust me, I'll give it a chance. Now take my
That's not nice, so let me switch back to music mode.
And then we start to dance, and now I'm singing like, girl, you know I want your love. Your love was handmade for somebody like me. Come on now, follow my lead. I may be crazy, don't mind me. Say, boy, let's not talk too.
So yeah, the boom sound speakers coming from HTC U11 is certainly better than the HTC 10, depending on your, liking of the music and the sound. You may be happy with HTC 10 as well. So HTC 10 is not bad. It's just that some of the things that they have done with the HTC boom sound in U11 is better in the new version rather than the old version. Now we can also listen to some other song with some beats so we can get to understand how the difference is. So here is another song for testing the boom sound, and this is HTC 10. So I'm going to switch this to HTC U11, starting from the same position that you heard for HTC 10. So yeah, you can see clearly HTC U11 has better sound coming out of the boom sound. Now, is this a worthy upgrade from HTC 10? It depends really on whether you use your 3.5mm headphone. Now, if you're using a 3.5mm headphone today in your HTC 10, I can tell you the output coming from this is really phenomenal. And that's something you're not going to get in your HTC U11 unless you're going to use the USB-C earbuds with the U-Sonic sound. So depending on that, you may decide whether that's an important factor for you to upgrade to U11 or stay with the HTC 10. Talking about the camera next, the HTC 10 comes with 12 megapixel camera with the HTC Ultra Pixel 2 technology, while the U11 comes with the same 12 megapixel camera with HTC Ultra Pixel 3 technology with lots of improvements on autofocus and HDR and whatnot. Of course, both have 4K video support as well. And the front camera, the HTC 10 comes with 5 megapixel, but it also has the optical image stabilization built in for the front camera. Whereas the HTC U11 comes with a 16 megapixel that's going to be great for your selfies, but it doesn't have optical image stabilization or autofocus. So it really depends on you how you take the photo with the HTC U11 front camera, whereas HTC 10 front camera can help you with that with the autofocus and optical image stabilization. In fact, when HTC 10 was released, that was the first phone to carry the front camera with optical image stabilization and autofocus. So that's something really good that they removed in U11. So If you take a lot of selfies that has some downside to not using optical image stabilization, then U11 would not be your choice. But at the same time, the quality of photos coming from the front camera is much better in U11. They are much crisp and sharp than that you get in the HTC 10. HTC U11 hardware has another unique feature that's going to help you take some awesome videos. Well, instead of just 2 or 1 microphone, this one has 4 microphones. You can see one at the bottom here near the port, one near the front camera, another one at the top here, and another one at the bottom back. So these 4 microphones are going to help you take videos with the 3D sound that's called the acoustic focus. So as you zoom in to a subject that has some sound, it's going to increase the level of the volume, and as you zoom out, it's going to decrease the volume. So here's a video sample to help you understand better. Speaking about the battery life, both come with 3000 milliamp battery, but the key difference is the HTC 10 is equipped with Snapdragon 820 processor, while the HTC U11 is equipped with the Snapdragon 835. Now both are really good. They're going to be lasting for a day for sure. The HTC U11 though can go beyond a day and give you better battery life with screen on times for at least 5 hours, or averaging 4.5 hours very easily. The HTC 10 on the other hand, the screen on time could last for maybe 3 hours or 3.5 hours depending on the usage, but it doesn't mean it's bad. You are going to get a day's worth of battery with both of these. HTC Sense has optimized really well for giving you a better battery life on both of these devices. But if you do want to get better battery life, and if you're not happy with that aspect with your HTC 10 and you upgrade to HTC U11, it's not going to disappoint you at all. The battery life in U11 is really good. So the big question, is it worth to upgrade from HTC 10 to the HTC U11? It really comes down to what you're looking for. If you want to stay with a good audio quality through the headphone jack, which you don't have it in your HTC U11, then the HTC 10 is still your best choice. You don't have to upgrade for the processor or for the RAM, because the speed and the performance you get with the HTC 10 is really good even after a year. The second aspect is, if you want new features like Edge Sense or the acoustic audio and 3D sound, then HTC U11 is a worthy upgrade. The other factor is the design, the look and feel. If you would much prefer a glass surface, then U11 is your choice. If you're happy with HTC 10 and love the HTC's metal unibody design, then you're going to feel home and probably enjoy HTC 10 more than the U11. Overall, very few things to consider if you want to really upgrade to U11, because HTC has done a really good job with HTC 10 that you don't have to be forced to go for an upgrade with the U11. So let me know what you think. Do you feel you want to upgrade to HTC U11? How do you like your HTC 10 after a year? Do you think HTC should have kept the metal designs? Let me know in the comments below. If you like my videos and want to see more like this, please subscribe to my channel. And if you have any suggestions or any comments or any other videos that you want me to take, please do leave them in the comments as well. Until next time, bye.